Welcome to another Enjoying Art member painting together moment. In this hour, we're going to paint the flowers, the peonies. Before we start this video, please give us support by like it, share with your friends, subscribe, and turn on notification so you won't miss any future video like this. All right, the first thing we're gonna see the big shapes. Before you looking into the shadow and the light side, the first thing you need to make up your mind how big the main object would be. So I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna put this one over here, this one over here, and maybe have one a little bit higher, one a little bit lower. It's totally up to you. I'm feeling that this one, this one, it can be a little bit lower over here and try to make it look interesting. Okay, each one, and this first one over here, and the second one I probably would have it overlap a little bit more, but maybe a little bit higher. I'm going to paint some color in the flower first as the first round. So what I'm going to do, I have a little alizarin color over here, and I'm going to start putting a little color over here. And first I'm going to make sure I have enough water, because if it doesn't have enough water, it would have problem. And now I'm going to start from the top over here. I'm going to start in the middle over here and put a little color. Don't worry about the details. It's just paint the color in. You can always alter it, change it. So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to fill in some color, except some area that is really light and you want to leave it, okay, like that. And some color, a little light, like this petal, a little light. So I'm going to leave it like that. Just ignore the details, just looking for the lightest and the darkest, and what are the areas. And you can see that there is just the pieces shape I'm looking for, not looking for too much the details thing. Okay, now I'm gonna coming over here. It's very important to make the flower looks like a rounded. Okay, this is very important at this step. You want to make it look like a rounded. Okay, and some little blue color underneath over here, but on the top over here, I'm gonna leave a little light shape. You see that, the little narrow light shape? I'm gonna leave that over there. So you don't want to kill all the light shape, and it will create trouble later. Okay. Now this is the big shape for this flower. Now I'm going to let go of that and moving over. And this one is a little bit lighter and lots of light area. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just, you can use red color if you don't have alizarin. That's just fine, okay? So I'm gonna have a little bit lighter over here. I'm gonna keep that a little lighter like that, and just put a little color here. If some areas really light, like over here, I'm gonna leave a very light shape, a narrow light shape over here. I just leave it over there. So I'm gonna keep going. And so looking for, it's quite a bit of water saturation in here. So now coming on this side, I'm looking for the actually a little light shape over here. See, I didn't even pencil those shape. It's just approximately the location. That's good enough, right? I'm gonna leave that little light shape, and you're following me, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna see that little light shape over here.
No, I cannot see you.
Okay, you see my table, do you? Okay, now on this side, you see a little light shape over here. I'm gonna leave that. And in the middle over here, there's no really light shape. So on the edge over here, this petal have a little light shape. And on this area, it has a little bit darker shape, a little bit. Okay, that's good. Under here, that is, I know that I'm gonna need to add a little blue color over here on the petal over here, but I'm not gonna change the color in my brush yet. It's just gonna keep going through it like that. The first step in getting some color in here, and let's see, and leave some light shape. Okay, I'm gonna change quite a bit. I'm gonna have this petal come out a little bit because I don't want it to be so smooth. And you can make that kind of decisions in a moment as you are painting through. Now, in the middle over here, I'm gonna have something really, really darker. What I'm gonna do, oh my God, too much. You look at my brush, that's a little bit too much. What I want to do, I'm gonna put in the dark color right over here. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit edge like that. Here you go. I'm gonna have that color right in the middle over here. And maybe leave a little light shape around like that. That's good enough. I'm gonna put a little big shape over here. And over here, I'm gonna put the darker shape over here too. Now you can see the flowers already in some kind of shape, right? And back to this flower, it looks like a little bit, right, dry already. So I'm gonna try it. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna come back over here. Now painting into the darkest area in the middle, like that. You see that? The flower is already in shape. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little big shape over here, a little big shape over there. That's just fine. And at this point, I'm gonna stop the flower. I'm gonna start painting the outside. And let's see, there's a kind of a little bit dangerous when you're doing outside now. If you touch the edge, it will make the color merge together, right? All right, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna paint in the outside and then I'm gonna wait until gradually we're coming in over here. And maybe I'm gonna do something adjusting over here because this is really too wet to painting the outside. So I'm gonna lift up the color. You see that I'm using this calligraphy brush and making it like a little bit kind of like a flat brush. You see that? Really flat, right? If you see my table. Okay, now I'm going to just lift up some colors. Now, over here, for this petal, I'm gonna lift up some color. See that? Ooh, nice. Because represent the light shape. I'm gonna create a little petal like that by lifting up the color. And so on this side, that's good. I'm gonna lift up a little color like that. So you can do it. You can lift up the color. This is called lifting while it's still wet. And every time after you lift up the color, you clean the brush and then use your two fingers, right? Squeeze all the wet away under the table, okay? Don't let anyone see it, okay? And then keep going and then again and make a little bit more shape. And this, you can find this would be very enjoyable, but you try to have the good a good brush stroke. You don't want to do it like many times, okay? It's going to be bad. Okay, I'm going to just lift up a little bit over here and going to keep going. When you're lifting, you create the impression of those petals. And you don't want to overdo it, okay? Over here, I'm going to have this coming in, the lighter. I know like for some members, the technology, it will be a little bit kind of new to you, but it's okay. We are learning it together, okay? So don't give up. So for the members not here, but you're just watching the video afterward, I really hope that you will start making this to be a little bit higher priority in your life. So the join here is community event and be here, okay? Have fun. And now I just gave a little bit more details. So over here, I can actually move that, soft a little bit over here. And now I'm gonna, I feel a little bit better for having some details. So that's good. I will come back to add some more definitions. But over here, I'm gonna coming over here. As we're doing this, the edge of the flower area, it will be getting dry, and then we're ready to do it outside, right? So this is always good timing. Now I'm gonna have this area a little bit lighter, just a little bit. At this point, this area is already dry. So what you need to do is you need to wet this area first, loosen the color, and then lip. Okay, like this. I need to lose the color a little bit, and I need to add a little wet in here. Depends on how dry the area is. Lifting is a very, very, very important technique for watercolor if you want to paint the way I paint. Some people, they don't want to lift, they put white colors. Okay, I try to use the translucent feature of the translucent watercolor instead of making the opaque. So now I'm gonna lift up a little bit color over here, make it a little bit lighter. So that's good, like that. And coming over here, I'm going to have this, I think, lift up a little bit lighter over here. So that's good. I think it's almost ready to painting the outside. Okay, now lift up a little bit over here. And that's good. I'm gonna lift a little bit. Anything that you put into the texture, it's just going to make it look, feel, not just look, feel more as flower. Okay. And also gonna add a little bit over here. A little shape. It seems like those light shapes are a little bit blur, but it's okay if you are going to put a darker color in the next round. It will, because of their value contrast, it will create the impression that it make it stand out. Okay. Now over here, I'm going to also soften this a little bit. Okay. Now soften it. Okay, that's good. All right. I'm gonna lift up a little shape over here like that. Just for now. Okay, it's good. All right. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna painting the outside. I'm gonna use this 1.5 inch flat brush. Now I'm gonna have the really dark color. I'm gonna have this mix the Windsor blue green shade with the red color. Now see that, see how much color I'm trying to create. Try to mix big puddle of colors and with the blue. And I'm gonna start from right on the top. Okay. Somehow I see that these two colors mixed together will create a darker mixture color than just use the black color. Okay, I'm gonna have that like that. It create the impression of leaves. And coming over here, I'm gonna leave a little bit edge. You don't need to at this point because the edge over here is already dry. But when you're doing the edge, also have a little bit kind of like an impression of the flower petal edge like that. Okay, that's good. And now coming on this side. Okay, coming in a little bit like that. And I'm gonna put the green color a little bit later in a minute. With that, the green color would push the dark color away. I'm gonna have that color over here like that. That's good. Now I'm coming to the bottom over here. Put a little bit, quite a bit of dark color. I'm gonna mix a little bit more pink into here so that the color would much thicker and it would be much darker. So I'm gonna have that a little bit, move that a little bit, and watch out the edge of the brush like that. Okay, here we go. Now coming in over here, here you go. Now looking for that. Looks like there's still a little wet at the bottom over here in the flower, but it's okay. Have a little blur that is just going to add a little bit more interest to the painting. Okay, like that. Putting those color in here first. The dark color is very important. And let's have some green color over here. I'm gonna have a little bit edge a little bit shape. I'm gonna have this a little bit darker. This is good. It's good. Just think about dark and light. Don't worry about, oh, this is not green. Actually, when you squint your eye looking at the reference, they're not actually green. To you, it's just dark color. Okay, like that. Okay, now painting around the dark color. Remember, we're still in the first step. Try to covering up everywhere with colors first. So now we are getting there. I'm going to mix another round really dark color. I'm just the blue and the red again. I'm gonna mix that, putting in here, make it even darker. When it's wet into wet, it's very, very good time to do that, and working it really darker right here. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna switch to my calligraphy brush. I'm gonna put the flat brush on the side. Now I'm gonna mix the yellow color. Those yellow colors kind of a little bit dry, so I'm gonna put some fresh yellow color. So I need some color a little bit thicker. So here you go. Earlier, someone asked me a question. Is that the cake watercolor paint is act as the same as the watercolor from the tube? Is it? And the only thing is it's difficult to make a thick color and faster. So is that help? And so now, because I need to mix the color faster, thicker, and you have to use the color, fresh color from the tube. Okay, now I think my time's almost there. Okay, I'm gonna painting around the edge, looking for the reference, and coming in a little bit like that. That's good. Now I'm going to push this color, now merge into the dark color. Okay, so this is area, want to make it feel like is actually part of the background. Okay, it's not really the objects at the front. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna be done very soon. Okay, and I'm gonna add, continue, mix a little bit more green color. Coming over here, take a look at the reference to see you can find something interesting to looking at. Okay, now I'm gonna move that. See that? They have some soft edge. Okay, here. I'm gonna push the color into the area. And over here, have some push the color into the area. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more yellow color. Push that in a little bit and push that in a little bit over here. That's good. More, a bit more. And now coming here, and this, push that in a little bit and give the suggestion that actually the leaf over here. I'm gonna push the little green color over here. It's try to cover the area with the meaningful suggestions with color and shapes. Okay, like that, and move the shape a little bit. Here you go. The timing is very important, and if the background color is getting dry, and it will leave the hard edge. So what we're trying to do is to loosen the color. If that's getting dry, you see that? Lose the color a little bit, so you can see that the color all can melt into each other. I'm gonna put a little, just get a little some yellow color in here, into the wet area, okay? It would make it look like, feeling like, oh, this is the green. It's the green, that must be leaf, right? Okay, that is the logic that people have. Okay. So we use the logic to communicate effectively with our audience. Now this is good. Now it's getting there, getting closer and closer. Now I'm gonna put the green color over here for the leaf. at the front. Now it's getting dry, so I'm gonna move the color a little bit. So let it lose the color like that. I'm gonna have a little bit more yellow over here. You go. Okay, move that. Don't want the color right feeling like on top of the paper. Actually, you want the color moving in. It's a part of the in the paper, a part of the surface, and coming in over here like that. That's good. Right now, we successfully putting all the color everywhere on the paper. That's the first mission. That you will have to do that at this step. Now, the thing you can do at this point, on the top over here looks good, but I don't like that shape. So what I want to do, I'm gonna just moving that another shape over here. Now it has some water pushing into the area that is just getting drying. Okay, I'm gonna push that in, and that water with the paint, with the pigment, it actually pushing that color in, pushing it away, push the wet around. So be a little careful how much water you want to give it to, and how clear you want the lip will show. Okay, this lip I probably want to leave a little bit more, so I'm gonna, why is it still wet? I'm gonna move that a little bit. As soon as I get the darker suggestions a little bit later, putting it in, and it would much better. Okay, the flower is just did finish the first step, so we're not even finished yet. That can be very soon. Okay, now this is good. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm cleaning my brush, make sure I have no blue color in here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start adding some darker area and try to form the shape. I'm gonna add a little red color. That's good. And I'm gonna putting that in here. I don't like this color. And if you have some fresher color, and that will be great. Now putting that in here, right? Have a little shape in here. Now everything is about shape now, right? Have another shape over here. That's good. A little shape over here. And then coming down over here, I have a little shape over here. Here you go. Now coming on this side, have a little shape over here as the shadow. Pretty soon you're gonna see that. Yeah, that's the flower I'm looking for. Okay, have a little narrow shape, and say from the big to a little smaller. Now the other shape a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna come to this flower. You see, you don't want to think too much, getting too much distraction. I want you to just follow the step. The step is very, very crucial and important. Always the big impression, the big shape, the big form before the smaller shape, small form. Right now, we are going a little bit smaller. Is that right? You see that? You care about the little changes like that, a little gap over here. And you don't have to think it's a flower. You just think about, oh, this is the shape over here and the shape over there, and just like that. Okay, I'm gonna put a little shape over here. Before you know it, all the shape connect together to make you feel like, oh, it must be a flower. And you can call it by name. Oh, I know this flower. What's the name of this flower? Anyone knows?
Peony.
Peony.
Exactly. You just pass it. Okay. I probably don't know.
It's the national flower of Korea.
Ooh. Oh, I see. Okay, like that. I'm gonna have a little color over here.
I
Now,
also think that it is the Illinois state
red.
flower, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, cool. It was so beautiful. I'm sure everyone want to say this is our flowers. Okay, and now on this side, I'm gonna add a little blue color because in the shadow side. Now I put a little bit color on this side, also put a little blue color on this side. You don't have to pick everything, okay? It's just make anything, make interesting suggestions. That's good enough. Now I'm just use the brush, just the water. I'm soften a little bit over here, have that coming up a little bit. It's okay. On the top over there, I'm gonna have a little bit blue color over here because kind of a little translucent. Looking through the back has quite a bit of cool color. Okay, like that. It's getting there. Okay. And over here, a little bit softer, like that, a little bit softer over here. If the color blur over, that's fine. Okay, now I'm gonna use the alizarin with the blue color. I'm gonna put in a little dark color over here too, and I put a little bit over there. And I'm gonna use the alizarin and no blue. I'm gonna have that a little color over here, pretty bright, like that. A little bit over here, give a little suggestions over here, and like that. Put a little color over there, and also I'm gonna use the water light up a little bit. Okay, I'm not sure you remember everything I'm saying now, but hopefully it create a sense that is the priority and the process, and you can follow that, and it would be great. Like that. Now come back to this flower. Now a little bit lighter, okay, but a little bit lighter suggestion, still gonna create an impression like that. A little bit on the outside over here because I want this side and make it a little bit stand out like one group, and I'm gonna continue. Okay, that little shape. You see the movement of the flower of the brush work. It actually create that suggestions, and that's good. On this side, I'm gonna have a little bit blue colors on this side because it kind of like a see-through the color behind. So sometimes you watch out the way I render my brush. It can create an impression easier and faster. And now here you go. On this side, have a little bit blue, like a moving over here. Take your time, okay? Have fun with it. Okay, I have to play with your patient. Okay, like that. Have a little bit over here. Divide that a little bit. I think it's almost there. And I'm going to have a little bit soften, a little bit over here in the middle, connect to the other side, and try to give you more time to paint. I'm going to have a little bit soften that a little bit over here so the line is not really stick out that much. And then the last thing, I'm going to form the shape for the leaf over here. See that now I'm going to painting not the green, but painting the gap. Make it a little bit darker, like that. Here you go. And a little gap over here. I'm going to paint a little gap, little suggestion. That's good. Right? A little bit over here. Now I see the suggestions of the leaf, like that. Now that have good enough suggestion for the leaf. On this side, I'm gonna put a little bit dark color here to showing the gap. Okay, like that. And on this side, and on here, I'm gonna have a little bit showing the gap. Okay, maybe a little bit over here, a little gap. Okay, now painting the gap shape. Okay, like that. And that's good. The top over there is perfect. You don't want to do anything to ruin that soft edges because that's showing that is the thing in the background. I think I can stop now. Do you think?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
beautiful. It does look beautiful.
It's not finished, but it's good enough to stop so that you can start it. And if you're a member, please come to join us every Wednesday and Friday, and we're gonna learn and have fun together. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you won't miss any future video on YouTube. I will see you in my next lesson.